everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Bob here, and today we're going to be taking a look at a watch that's been kind of a long time coming on the channel. You guys saw my unboxing about a month ago now, and the watch we're looking at today is the Vostok Amphibia. I've had the chance to wear this quite a bit over the last few weeks, which has given me the opportunity to kind of learn some of the quirks, and this watch is definitely on the quirky side. Anyways, let's spin the camera around and take a closer look at the Vostok Amphibia. All right, so I've been doing a little research on Vostok and just Russian watches in general. Came across this book. It's called Russian Wristwatches by Juri Levenberg, and it's an older book. I believe this is actually from the 90s, but it has some great info on a few of the different companies, just sort of short write-ups of some of the different companies, as well as some examples of the watches that they offer. The coolest thing that I like about this book, though, here's just a few of the pictures. Some information on Russian space history. Here's a write-up right here of Vostok with some examples, and then it actually has just a tiny little write-up of each example. But one of the cool things that I found was at the very end of the book, it actually has here the Cyrillic inscriptions that you find on both dials and case backs. So I'll just pull up the Vostok here for a second. So if we look at, I'm not sure if you guys can make that out here or not, but basically it gives us the meanings of some of these Cyrillic inscriptions. So on the top of the watch, it says water resistance 200 meters, shock resistant above the Amphibia, and although it doesn't match perfectly with the inscription in the book, I believe it says automatic along the bottom. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one, though. So just a cool book, so I just wanted to share that with you guys quickly before we got into the watch itself. So the watch comes in a pretty simple plastic box here with the paperwork in Russian. Most of you guys will know, but it comes on a very cheap bracelet. Feels quite fragile, really, so expect to be changing that for something different as soon as you get it. Apparently that goes for all their straps, including their leather straps. Just the quality is not there. We have very thin, hollow end links here, but I bought the watch knowing this, so it was a non-issue for me. This version, which has the 420 case, comes in at a case width of 40 millimeters, right on the dot according to my calipers. Lug to lug is just under 46 millimeters. We have a lug opening of 18 millimeters, and the thickness, it's a pretty thick watch coming in at 15 millimeters, although I must say I would guess probably 3 millimeters of that is the dome crystal, which I really love the look of. It is an acrylic crystal and scratches easily. I've already got a little scuff at the 6 o'clock, and just now looking through the viewfinder of my camera, I see a little scratch here at 3. I'm not sure if you can make those out, but the bonus of that is I finally get to experiment with PolyWatch. I have never used this stuff. A couple of watches with acrylic crystal, so I picked this up a few months ago, and yeah, so we'll give that a try at some point in time. The dial is a nice green with the little Scuba Dude printed here in the center. I just had to have a Scuba Dude version of the watch. We have a date window cut out at the 6 with kind of a beveled edge. The hours are marked with Arabics and a little dot of lume on the outer part of the dial. The hands are lumed, and I love the look of that hour hand and the pop of red on the second hand. The lume is really bad. Even if you give it a good charge with a flashlight, it fades very fast. It's when you get to the moving parts where things get a little quirky with this watch. The bezel is a very different feel than what I'm used to on a dive watch. First of all, it is a bi-directional bezel. There's no clicks, although it's not as loose feeling as I expected. I expected it to almost be wobbly. It actually has some nice resistance there. The one benefit, I guess, with the no clicks, though, is alignment issues. There is none of those, so I really like the thin grip here as well on the bezel. It has just a really cool vintage look. The crown has a very different feel too. When unscrewed, we have that infamous Vostok Wobble, which is an intentional design for shock resistance. And somewhere I came across a diagram of it, and it kind of makes sense if you Google it. At first it feels almost fragile, but after using it for a while, you get used to it. And it's these differences from other watches that make this such a fun watch. Even learning the date change cheat was fun, and I'll show you guys quickly here. So basically, if you guys are in the PM, which we're not here, so we're going to have to wrap this around one more time. So this does not have a quick date to change function, but there is a cheat for it. So basically what you do is you go to midnight, it changed to the 8 o'clock there, then you roll back to, or sorry, the 8th, it changed to the 8th, you roll back to 8 o'clock, then forward to midnight again, and the date changes. So kind of a fun little quirk that the watch has that's different than anything else out there. The case has a really neat vintage look and feel. Love the look of these lugs. One of the other different features with this watch is the case back and how it is hooked to the case. So the case back has a ring around the outer perimeter of the case back that turns independently of the case. Just leaves you with no risk of shearing the gasket. So yeah, let's check it out on wrist here for a second. All right, guys, so these are watches that I really wasn't sure how I felt about before I got my hands on one. I'll have to say I'm pretty surprised, but I love this thing. It's a really fun watch. I know these aren't for everyone, but I think a lot of the quirks people aren't fans of are what makes this watch what it is and what makes this watch so cool. For the first couple of weeks, it was just so fun just learning how to operate this thing properly, and I think they're fantastic, especially at this price. So let's take it back outside and we'll wrap up today's video. Alright guys, so that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you guys were like me and are unsure or were unsure of the Vostok Amphibia or other Vostoks, the nice thing about them, they are just so affordable. It's kind of hard to go wrong. So give them a try. They're kind of fun little watches. Thanks so much for tuning back into the channel, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. Alright guys, so I'm not sure if you guys can make out the scuff. There is a little scuff just here above the date window. Wasn't going to do this on camera, but I thought, hey, what the heck, let's do it on camera. It might be a huge fail here, but there's also a scuff just here in that direction at the 3 o'clock. So if you guys can't see that, then this might be a fail right off of the bat, even if this does work. But so let's give it a try here. We'll put a little bit of stuff on here, a little bit of PolyWatch. I'm not going to put a lot. I've seen guys put tons of it on, and we just have a very small amount of scratches here. So I got a little wipe cloth, and we rub this in, apparently for 3 minutes. And they're gone. That took about, I don't know, maybe 30 seconds. It took the scuffs right away. So really happy with the product there, PolyWatch. So definitely a thumbs up for that. All right, thanks. We'll see you guys.